All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite animal scientist, Mr. Kester Amos. We are actually at the Kester Farms, which was formerly the Kester Amos Farms. We couldn't register Kester Amos Farms because we already have Kester Amos Consultancy Services Limited. So I decided to mix it up and spice it up with my wife's name. My wife is actually Esther and I'm Kester. Funny, right? So I decided we go with Kester Farms Enterprises. So the farm is officially Kester Farms, and of course, today we are moving our pullets to the cages. And why I'm holding these two birds is because I want to show you the size of both. You can see the one by my right hand is very small, and this one is quite big. So what we're trying to do is we are moving the bigger size birds to the cages. Ideally, the birds should go to the cages at the age of between 13 to 14 weeks and upwards. But they are just 11 weeks, and we have this set that is quite big. And of course, we have the ones that are still coming up. So we decided to move the bigger ones so that we can create enough space for the smaller ones to meet up or catch up with the bigger ones. So that's what we're doing. So the birds are actually 11 weeks and 2 days old today. And of course, this video is coming on the 18th of March, on the 18th of April 2025. So we are moving the birds to the cages, and I'm going to show you the cages. So I just wanted you to know what we were doing here. So these are point of lay pullets. Ideally, sometimes people would like to get point of lay instead of raising them from day old because they think the challenges of raising the birds from day old is too cumbersome. But the truth of the matter is raising the birds from day old represents the best form of layer production because you would have the history of your birds. It's not like it's general, but sometimes when you get point of lay birds are birds from between 12 to 18 weeks. Any week they fall in there, we call them point of lay. And these birds are purchased from different farms for layer production. But the truth of the matter is sometimes these birds do not go through the right medication, vaccinations, because you do not know the history of the birds. And it is most likely for you to have issues with birds acquired as point of lay rather than birds you raise from day old. So the advantage of raising the birds from day old is you know the history of the birds, the right vaccines are administered, the birds are well taken care of by you or your manager. So this gives you confidence of what you are taking into the cages. As you can see, we are having very good growth here at 11 weeks old. We already have some birds that are going to 1.4 kg and thereabout. So that's the advantage starting from day old gives you. But I understand that it is challenging for many people, but that is why you need consultants, you need experts. You don't go into commercial animal production on your own or just watching videos on YouTube and thinking you can do what they are saying on YouTube. No, except you want to do a small scale farming by your backyard, that is understandable. But if you're going into commercial farming, especially poultry production, you need the services of an expert. You need an animal scientist on your team, you need a veterinarian on your team. So these two people, they are invaluable in poultry production. You cannot do without them if you want to have good production. So the birds, when you raise them from day old, you give them all the medication they required, the vaccines at the right time, the prophylactic drugs at the right time, and also the right brooding conditions and litter management. There are a lot of things that poultry encompasses. So litter management is one of them, and vaccination is one of them, giving them the right amount of feed, the adequate quantity per day. All of this comes into play. But when you get these birds at point of lay, you don't know if the routine was properly followed. So sometimes you end up getting the poor quality birds and you have problems. They tell you the birds are 16 weeks and you count from 16 weeks till 20 weeks when they are supposed to start dropping eggs, and they are not dropping. Sometimes you find out that it takes up to 24-25 weeks before your birds start to lay. That is because they are not exactly what they tell you they are. Birds should start laying from 19 to 22 weeks. So at that stage, your birds should start dropping. Some good quality birds would even start dropping from 18 weeks, but that is not always the case. But from 19-20 weeks and thereabout, your birds should start dropping. So, and for your birds to start dropping at that age, they should start weighing 1.5 to 1.7 kg. So if your birds are 19-20 weeks and they are not weighing 1.5 to 1.7 kg, then the birds were not adequately raised and not properly fed. So these are some of the management practices that we carry out in poultry. So if you watched my previous video, you would notice that I said we'll be doing some lectures, some series on poultry production, and this is just one of such video. So what we are showing you now is we are moving the birds from the deep litter system to the battery cage system. So what we have here is the deep litter system. We actually partitioned it. We have 1, 2, and 3 sections. Maybe you come inside. So this is the third session. You can see it's a small poultry. We have about 750 birds here. So we just partitioned it for the sake of having good quality management, because it is always good when you have a smaller number of birds within a particular space instead of having a whole lot within a small space. So I'm going to take you now to the battery cage system where we are transferring these birds to, so you can see what a battery cage looks like. We have 120 birds per unit battery cages. They're foreign cages. So we just turn, we'll take you to the other side of the building. What is it? Don't worry. So this is our battery cage house. So these are our cages, 120 birds per unit. They are foreign cages. This will give you 15 to 20 years warranty or durability. They are cages with very high quality. As you see, they've been here for over 4 years, and you can see how neat the cages are. So this is what a 120 bed per unit foreign cage looks like. So between this iron and this is what we call a unit. On both sides, it carries 120 beds. So 60 on this side, 60 on the other side. So let's take you now to the inside where we are actually stocking. So you can see these are the cages. The birds we are transferring are coming in here. This is a drinking system. So we have our baskets or buckets here, 1, 2, 3, for the 3-step cages. So this one feeds the lower cage, the one in the middle feeds the middle cage, and this one on the top feeds the top cage. Now if you come in, you see the feeder tank. Maybe you come this way. So these are the birds. We have 4 birds to a cell. So this is a cell. So we have 4 birds to a cell. This is a feeder. This is the drinker. You can see the water is dropping. So immediately the birds peck on the water, on this nipple, the water drops and they drink from it. So here is where we put the feed. And this is the egg collector. So once the birds lay, the eggs roll down to this front and we get the eggs from this spot. So layer production, it is best you go with the battery cage system when the birds have started laying, because of the ease of collection, the ease of feeding, and the drinking system is automated. So you don't have to go through the troubles of carrying water with drinker every morning and every evening. The water system runs on its own. The birds only have to peck and drink. And of course, we have the whole system automated like that for the drinkers, while the feeders, we apply it manually. And of course, the eggs are collected with ease. You don't have to walk around the deep litter house. Like when you have them in deep litter, you don't have to go through all the trouble looking for the eggs here and there. because the eggs are just here for you to see. So finally, this is our feeder tank. So here is our feeder tank. The main tank that supplies this is outside, so the water runs on its own automatically to this feeder tank, and from this feeder tank we have our filter here. So you can see this is a water filter. It takes away every impurities before the water goes into the basket and supplies to the cages. Every impurity is taken out. So already the water is treated from the main source, but in order to not take any chances, of course, that is why we have this filter here. So it's connected. You can see the quality of the water inside the basket. So it is also regulated in a way that the water cannot spill over, because there's a regulator or a stopper in there. When it gets to a certain point, the water stops on its own. So this is the Kester Farms poultry unit, the layer unit. Of course, you've seen the deep litter. So once all these birds are moved into the cages, we are going to begin the production of broilers on the deep litter, while the layers will be laying in the battery cages. So if you come down this way, let's see if we can show you. So you can see this is our litter material. Just bend a bit so they can see the base of the trench. Yeah, this is the manure trench, and we have our litter material there. So after a while we'll turn it. Here we don't remove the manure every day, because it is actually deep. So at some point we turn it and aerate it, and of course it continues like that for weeks and months before we pack it off. And of course, there's no smell here. We try as much as possible. We spray our IMO on the litter, so even when you come here, you don't have smell in the poultry house. So that's how much we take today. Of course, if you are a first timer, please do well to subscribe and click on the bell icon, so when we upload a new video, you get a notification. And of course, this is just the second of the series of lectures we'll be giving on poultry production. So this is the process of transferring the birds from the deep litter house to the battery cage system. So until we come your way again, thank you, God bless you, and bye bye.